before we get in this, I want to say I'm well aware that this is probably the dumbest video I've ever made. When I first heard about the whole Jinwoo's losing his aura controversy, if you can even call it that, I was like, this has to be some kind of joke. There's no way that a large amount of people are actually worrying about Jinwoo's aura. But then I started seeing countless articles by large publications that everyone always trusts and agrees with, along with Solo Leveling's actual rating, especially episode 10, taking a big hit. And the more I thought about it, it actually started to make a little sense. Now, I still think that the people saying Jinwoo is losing or has lost his aura is a completely brain-dead take. But I do actually see where it's coming from in a characterization and story development sense. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Solo Leveling is possibly the only anime that I've ever watched where I think losing aura is actually a real problem. As I've talked about in a past video, Solo Leveling relies practically entirely on Jinwoo in hype moments to keep the audience entertained and invested. And so far, this has worked perfectly, but only because the fight scenes, animation, and viral moments have all been consistently landing and hitting harder each week. But there are no complex plots or dynamic relationships, there's just these hype and awesome moments. So while other shows like Attack on Titan or JJK, for example, can rely on the characters and plot whenever there isn't an epic fight scene, Solo Leveling doesn't have that luxury. You can think of it like Solo Leveling puts all of their eggs into one basket, which is pure adrenaline-pumped hype moments through Jinwoo. But because of that, it can't rely on fan-favorite side characters or incredible world building to make up for whenever super hype stuff isn't happening. And as I kinda alluded to before, the reason that Solo Leveling is so hype and consequently so popular is solely because of Jinwoo. He's a sick character, he's confident, and most importantly, he's a vessel to make all the epic moments work. But if Jinwoo starts to be disliked, if he starts to get the crybaby or soft protagonist title that we've seen so often in recent anime, Solo Leveling just won't be the same. And as silly as it may sound, the aura of Jinwoo's character is the pillar of Solo Leveling itself. And the show will begin to crumble if that pillar is too damaged. Because if Jinwoo does lose his aura, the epic moments just won't hit anymore. And let's be honest, nobody's watching Solo Leveling for gut-wrenching emotion or a great love story. They're watching it because it's cool, and Jinwoo losing his aura would ruin that. But is he actually losing his aura? Well, despite the negative ratings and Reddit posts, I don't think Jinwoo's lost his aura at all. By far, the biggest problem that people have been saying is causing Jinwoo's aura loss is the scene of him breaking down and crying after finally waking up his mother. Now, personally, I don't think that crying in a moment like that would make a character any less cool. However, I think a lot of people just don't really understand the significance of this moment, which is what is causing people to misinterpret Jinwoo as a crybaby. Jinwoo's entire purpose in the story, the reason he's gotten stronger, the reason he's risked his life, the reason he's killed monsters and men alike, have all been for his family. He wants to provide for his sister and bring his mother back. And since Jinwoo started making good money long ago, this scene where he gives his mother the cure and she's brought back to life is the climax of his story, the fulfillment of his life's purpose. Of course he's going to cry because as soon as she wakes up, the story could just end and Jinwoo could live the rest of his life happy and content. And this brings us to the second complaint that people are having with Jinwoo's character, which is why didn't he go to Jeju Island? I made an entire video over a week ago saying that I didn't think he would go to Jeju Island unless some outside factor forced him to. And it's not because he's scared or not strong enough, it's because there is no reason for him to. Jinwoo has everything he wants, and he's never been a selfish character obsessed with fame or riches. So it's completely consistent with his characterization that he'd choose not to fight. now that there is nothing he is working towards. And obviously, the story isn't just going to end here. Something is going to happen that will ruin Jinwoo's perfect life, forcing him to once again get stronger and chase after some unimaginable goal. And when it does, the people who are currently saying Jinwoo lost his aura or Jinwoo got soft will all go back to calling him the coldest character in anime. So, while I do think Jinwoo losing his aura would be devastating to the success of solo leveling, I don't think that's what's happened at all. Instead, I think we're just truly seeing Jinwoo happy after reaping the rewards of all his hard work. And the fact that so many people are already fed up by this, saying that he's lost his aura or he's not the same, is exactly why his peace will not last long.